A while back, Discovery had purchased Warner Brothers and everything that it owns and kind of combined it together to make a streaming service, HBO Max, or Max as it used to be called, and now back to HBO Max, because of the fact that unfortunately Warner Brothers is not only trying to get through the pandemic hangover of what happened to the movies and they're not making enough money, and also being completely disrespectful to filmmakers by kind of just telling them, hey, your movies are gonna go straight to streaming because there's a pandemic, instead of working out some kind of deal with them, because they cut them out of a lot of money. And on top of that, the entity that is Warner Brothers Video Games isn't doing so well as well, with Monolith Studios being closed down and other studios being closed down as well, and having a revolutionizing system like the Nemesis system just behind copyright and not actually using it kind of has them in a bad light overall. So much so that Discovery and David Zaslav kind of took all the network stuff that is Discovery and all the stuff that is video games, animation, and movies to the other side. So the streaming services are going to be over here with the video games, and the network studios are going to be over here with the network studios. And usually when a company does that is because they are planning to sell and want people to be interested in selling. Because if it was HBO and Discovery together, nobody is really in the market to have networks right now. It kind of looks a lot more appealing to want to buy just the streaming services, the video games, animation, everything that they can make media out of that can sell. And one person that has come out as a contender of who's going to buy them and is interested to buy them is Sony. Here's a few reasons why this makes sense. Sony has been on a crusade to monopolize anime as we know it. And one of the things that Warner Brothers has is that they have a lot of the Studio Ghibli licenses on there, and they also have Adult Swim, which also publishes a lot of anime, which would be great for them to combine with Crunchyroll. On top of that, they also have something else that they really want, which is Warner Brothers games. The unfortunate thing is that Sony's been interested in this division for a long time, so much so that the only reason it scared them away before was because of the fact that Warner Brothers wasn't willing to sell any of the IPs that the studio had. They wanted to keep those IPs and license them and essentially just sell off the studios, which Sony was not interested in. Nobody else was really interested in that, and is getting to the point where Warner Brothers more than likely is going to be a little bit more at the negotiating table and maybe license it out to PlayStation and Sony so long it hits a certain set of criteria that they need to do. Like, for example, Marvel Spider-Man needs to sell at least 10 million or 7 million units in order for it to stay exclusive, for them to keep the license, and which they haven't had trouble selling those games at all. And while yes, there's going to be people in the comment section that PlayStation wants to be the arms dealer, not the arms keeper. They want to be selling their films and their shows to everybody else. They don't want to be the platform holder. But with that said, that was 2 years ago, and it's looking like Sony is interested if it's at the right time. For example, they tried to buy Paramount, and more than likely we're going to probably shut down that tree. I'm going to be honest with you. Or I don't think that they would try with Paramount. But when you put the crown jewel that is HBO Max, officially now, by the way, it is called HBO Max, in front of you to an entity like Sony, yeah, they're gonna want that. HBO has been making shows and winning Emmys since forever now. They probably have the best shows on TV yearly. There's at least one HBO show that I'm like, damn, that was a really good show. If I were Sony executives, I would be frothing at the mouth of not only being able to get the intellectual property that is the Warner Brother games, and also the HBO entity along with the animation. It seems like a match made in heaven, but it remains to be seen, because it's not only Sony that's going to be trying to go after these guys. These are the first people that are interested. I wouldn't doubt that there's probably going to be some negotiating going on right now. Now, whether this happens or not is really 50-50. The truth is this helps Sony overall. It helps their movie division, it helps their animation monopoly crusade, and it also helps their monopolizing in PlayStation and Sony. So their biggest division that they want to improve on is, of course, their animation and their video game sector. So if those sectors are updated because of this, and you kind of put yourself in a position to where you want to ask yourself, is this enough for me to maybe go in debt for, and will it pay off eventually? Because keep in mind, Warner Brothers has a huge debt. As of now, Warner Brothers owes about $36 billion. So the question is Sony willing to do this? I would imagine if they could just cut out the studios and HBO Max, even though that seems like really tempting, I imagine that they would want to buy the animations, like straight thing that they're going for from Warner Brothers, and the video game sector would be the ones that they would choose. This also happened with FromSoft and their parent company. Kadokawa was interested in being bought by Sony as a whole, but Sony really wanted the animation division and the video game division that they had, which was kind of a no-go for Kadokawa. So they instead traded that in for Sony buying a large share of them and being a majority shareholder. That's not FromSoft, and so they're making deals behind the scenes. So you're gonna see more exclusives go to PlayStation, more advertisement deals with FromSoft and with their different animation divisions. So I'm guessing with the Warner Brothers thing, I would guess that it doesn't happen. There is a 50% chance, but I am guessing that this buyout is not going to happen. I know that it helps PlayStation and Sony in every single sector they have. It helps in their video game division, it helps in their anime, and also it gives them a big piece to maybe sell one day, which is HBO Max. I know that it's a good deal, but I don't see Sony buying them anytime soon because of the fact that there is kind of this aura of we don't know what's going to happen in the economy because of what's going on in politics. And yes, I understand you don't want to talk about politics, but this is important to the details of this situation, in which Sony doesn't know if next generation, when it comes around, what administration is going to be there. So they can't really bet on the fact that PlayStation is going to keep making this amount of money that they're doing, and including other Sony sectors like their TV sector, their movie sector. It all depends if everything is going good for them. If everything goes perfect for them in terms of what they want, I see this as a 60% chance that it happens. But as far as what I think that is going to happen to me personally, I don't think that this deal goes through. I think there's a slim to none chance that this happens, but we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Sony is gonna buy this to boost up their monopoly that they already have? And do you think this is a good deal? Do you think it's gonna happen? And remember, you're pretty good.